Internet, welcome back to the Ghost Light Social. You can tell I've been up since 5:30 because I can't talk. Welcome to our weird internet pub where we talk to all kinds of different creative people while we're all locked down in our little bunkers. This week's show, we've got two cracking guests for you. Lucy Rafton, who you may have seen going on Facebook Live this week, dressed as Princess Anna, I think it is. Is it Anna? I don't know. I've not seen the film. It's from Frozen. And doing Storytime Live and while we could, going through McDonald's drive-thrus and all that kind of stuff. And we've also got Joe Gill, who you may know from his time on Emmerdale. As always, we are joined by Lee.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I have to say, little bit depressed today. And I use it with a small d, but it's just, this is getting a bit hard, isn't it? It's day 6 or so. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. But one of the things I did want to just pick you up on there, Mike, was you've never seen Frozen.
No, I've never seen it. What happened is I'm a 41-year-old man, so it's not in my remit. But then, obviously, like 14 months ago, I had a daughter, so I'm saving it now. That I'm going to watch it with her. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, before we bring the guests on, which I'm very excited about, I am essentially now living for, don't tell my kids and my wife this, obviously. I'm essentially now living for Mondays and Wednesdays, so I can have a chat with other adults, if I can call the people that we're chatting to tonight adults. I'm living for it. It's what I get out of bed for. Before we fully kick off, I wanted just to get a little something off my chest in a good way.
Off your chest, it will be little.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thanks. Yeah, we'll get the short gags in.
One per episode.
Excellent. I have to say, I can't watch another monologue. I cannot watch another monologue, at least for a few days. I get it. I understand why everybody's doing it, but I think anyway, I find monologues just a bit weird. It's just a bit sort of, I sort of cringe inside a little bit, and that's no reflection on anybody's work or whatever. It's just that's the thing with monologues for me. I'm feeling comfortable about it. So I've been looking for other things. A conductor that sent out all these pieces of music to all these musicians and told them to film, like play their little bit, and film it, and then just send it in, and then he didn't tell them what it was. It was called The Hamster or something. Again, I'll put the link at the bottom. And then he got them all together, and then he's put it all out on social media, and it sounds brilliant. More of that, the better. I love all that stuff.
The other on that, just you reminded me of something. Prior to lockdown, around on Twitter, and it was what do they call it when people just randomly turn up and film and do stuff?
A flash mob.
Flash mob.
Flash
That's
mob.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And it was an orchestra doing a flash mob, and it was like a tiny little square in like Vienna or something, all really close together. And I watched it recently, and we're like,
I did a flash mob in college as part. I was in a performing arts college, but the bad thing was we didn't actually get the theme of what it was, and we told all our parents, so everyone just turned up and expected it to go ahead. It was awful.
What's on? A, you didn't know what was going on, and B, nobody watched it.
No, we just said to our parents, we're all going to start dancing at 3:30. We didn't get the concept of what a flash mob was.
I see what you mean. So everybody turned up to watch you, rather than it.
Yeah. Everyone turned up to watch our secret dance, basically, yeah.
Before we carry on, I want to celebrate, as I did last week, people who are giving artists and people within the industry freebies. Or a break from subscription. So we talked last week about Spotlight giving 3 months, which is great. We talked about Equity, who were offering help if you're struggling to pay your subs. This week we've got Adobe. If you go through and cancel, they offer to give you a couple of months free, which is fantastic. So this is Isaac Chats, and this is just basically chats with a lot of sort of actors and stuff, and some directors and stuff like that, all for free, which is the point. You don't have to pay for it. So welcome, Lucy. Welcome, Joe. How Hi, lovely to see you. Lovely to see your lovely faces. Are you, Lucy, are you well?
Yes, I am still in one piece.
Good. Excellent. Good. Joe?
Yeah, considering the circumstances, I'm doing all right. I'm lucky, and everyone I know is safe and well at the moment, so I can't really complain, of course.
But we were talking about drama school. Joe, you were saying that it's interesting what will happen, because if we're in lockdown, will there even be an intake this year?
Oh, and some of my auditions were around March and April. Some are early and some are quite late, so there'll be a lot of people, first and foremost, that won't have had the opportunity to audition and to see what happens, whether things are even going to be open at that point, or whether they're going to defer people a year, or it's going to be a bit messy. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that are quite nervous about what's going to happen in the next few months about all that. Really, I can imagine.
Yeah, I was wondering whether, because I know that they're starting to change their approach to how they audition and the way that they do it, and I should have found this out, and I will the next episode. Whether they're doing stuff by Skype, whether they're changing. Because I remember, like you, I remember going to those auditions and being crammed in a room of 40 people and sort of running around and then doing your monologue and doing whatever else. More monologues. Oh my god.
Oh god, can't get away.
They have set that up, Lee.
Okay.
Leeds College of Music. I know that for their musical theatre course, they had a couple of weeks ago told them that their audition, because some of them auditioned in January and February, but some were set to audition April, and they've asked them to do like a self-tape. So it is still in the pipeline for them, but whether or not that's still going ahead, I don't know, but that's what I heard.
It's crazy, isn't it, though? Because I'm thinking, we sometimes as actors, well, a lot of the time send off self-tapes, but I suppose there's no way they can do this. And if this is the only way, then of course, so be it. And it's great that technology is really saving us at the moment. But, this is 3 years we're talking about. I'm working with people extensively for 3 years. It's not just sort of a little 2 weeks doing a television job. So it must be quite hard to sort of get the same, information as you would do if you actually met them. I suppose if there's nothing they can do and this is the only way to keep things moving on, then so be it. But yeah, it must be quite a daunting time for the selection process. It's quite difficult. But then again, it could be good for some people. Some people who wouldn't normally have a chance of getting in might really have a great little self-tape there and send it off and get the chance that they deserve that they might not normally get. Do you know what I mean? So it could work out.
I think the whole industry is going to change from that point of view. I think that there is a big change coming, which has been probably coming for a long time, for the good and for the bad, perhaps.
I think, obviously, it's going to have a massive change. I think that nobody's going to have a clue. So I tend to feel a bit at the moment that we're all at the same level. There's been a massive hierarchy for a long time, and I've noticed that everyone's just kind of come down to the same level, and that everyone is going, we've no idea. There's, I rung my agent up last week and she's saying this is happening, but it's not a case of there's somebody that knows more than anyone else. I think it's going to be quite scary, but if there's anything at all to come out of it, it has to be that we're all kind of going at it at the same level and together.
I think it's been going the way of self-tapes, certainly in my experience, a lot in the past, few years. I also think that it is going to, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but it might damage a few people who have just started out who really, really, really need every single penny that they can get, and it's really knocked a few people over, and I do hope that people are able to get back up on the feet. But I can imagine if I was sort of 16, 17 starting out in this industry and trying to network and meet some of the great people that I have done and go to the classes and workshops that I have done, if none of that is obviously happening at the moment because it can't, then it might really hinder people's ability to actually be creative, because it's great what we're doing here in the industry, but a lot of it is playing with and meeting new people and bouncing off each other's energy. And I just fear that, if a lot of that is lost in the next few months, that people might just sort of get a bit swayed away from it, really, which is quite disappointing. But I do hope that obviously this whole technology period that we're going through can save that. And I have seen some great content online. There is some great stuff knocking around, which makes all of us happy.
When a student or whatever or anybody, people who are coming to do show reels and stuff with us, when they ask us about sort of training and what we think the best. Somebody asked me today, said, what do you think the best way of getting into the industry is? My instant response, because I went to drama school, is go to drama school. But there are other ways in, and I'm always interested in, your opinion on that and what your journey was. Lucy, first.
Well, for me, I was quite lucky that I worked on professional shows as a child. So I already had those 3 credits to go on Spotlight before I was even 16. There's a lot of me sometimes that thinks I wish I had, for various different reasons. Not necessarily because I think it's the only way in, but I think there's a lot of knowledge that you can learn in there. But I still feel like you're quite young to take all that in, and I think some drama schools can be quite damaging for people at that age, and I've no idea what I would have been like learning the stuff that I have learned in the past 5 or 6 years. Was I going to be doing that when I was 17, 18, even younger? Some people go like 16. So I do think it is a really good way in, but I don't think it's the only way in, and it depends what kind of work you want in the industry. I think there's a lot of people that just kind of pick it up later on in life and want to go meet all the casting directors and tick all the boxes that they want you to tick and think that's the way in. I don't think that works. I think you're really lucky if you go to one of those workshops and somebody says, I'm going to bring you in for something. For those who aren't going to be able to get the scholarships and things like that, the pressure of going to drama school is a bit much. But I totally feel sometimes that I wish I'd have gone for the fact that it's a name on my CV. I don't think it's the only way in, but I was lucky to have worked when I was younger, that I didn't have the struggle to start later on, but it's still a constant struggle for me because I haven't been to drama school. So,
once upon a time, it used to be you couldn't work unless you had your equity card. But now, Spotlight, you need to have X, Y, and Z. I remember when I first went onto Spotlight, I probably shouldn't say this, but that I lied. I lied about my credits, but it was a while ago, and I think I got on. I didn't lie about the credit. I lied about the profile of the credit.
I gave up acting a while ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, because at the time I was just not getting seen. I weren't, so I was just a bit like, and I went to film school, and I thought, bugger it, I'm going to do something else. And to get onto Spotlight, I've gone in and done the slightly cheeky thing of, I've maybe got paid professional credits, but I don't have the 4th. So a couple of the smaller jobs I've done slightly got elevated.
But there's plenty of stuff out there that doesn't even go through Spotlight. There's social media now. I see constantly. To be fair, it drives me insane how much time I spend on social media looking for what's happening, and I'll send personal things off, and sometimes they'll get back to me, sometimes they won't. But it's the fact that just because you haven't got that it's the end of the world. And yeah, it's just a platform, really, isn't it? I don't get that. I don't get why it's a brick wall, why it should stop you from moving forward.
It's not the only way. I've known casting directors to completely cast stuff off just not through Spotlight. But I mean, there is so many. I don't know how many thousands of people are on it now, but it does seem to almost be sort of the stance that if you aren't on it, you aren't a professional actor, which isn't true. But yeah, it has got a massive sort of, seems to have a power, doesn't it, at the moment? Do you know what I mean? Do you ever nudge your agent for anything on Spotlight? Do you know what that is? Because I've realised I've had a couple of different agents in the past couple of years, and the agency that I'm with now, I'm able to nudge my agent, which I hate the term nudge because it's almost as if you're annoying them. You're like, you're poking them. But I didn't know this button existed before. Obviously, doesn't have their settings for the actors to be able to have the power to do that. So I was quite happy when I saw this nudge button a few months ago. So that's strange as well. that even if you are on Spotlight, you haven't got all the power anyway, you know, and that's not right considering, you know, we pay quite a lot of money for it, and you know, we might not ever work.
So if you don't have an agent, you don't see. I know. You see it, like I say, on social media. You see somebody post these. This show's just gone live. We've put them on Spotlight, and you go on Spotlight, and it's not there because it's for agents. And you think, well, why are you putting that on Facebook or on Twitter? Because the people that are seeing that are the ones that want to put themselves forward for it, and they can't. It's mad.
Interestingly, I suspect that that's one of the things that will start changing. From talking to casting directors, one of the things I say is, you know, if I put something out and I don't filter who it goes to, even from an agent point of view, I'll be bombarded with, and I just won't have time to go through them all.
Yeah,
You know, suddenly, if a casting director gets 800 people apply, which is a figure I've heard a lot, the not beyond the norm. How do you whittle that down? Because you certainly haven't got time to look at that. Joe, your journey into the industry.
I went to, in between school and drama school, there's college. You spend 2 years. I didn't do A-levels. I buggered a year of them up. Didn't even go in for the year. It was awful. And managed to do a BTEC in acting at a great college. Anyone watching this in the Northwest, Pendleton Performing Arts College in Salford. Great college. I don't know if the teachers are still there that I had, but it was great when I was there. I did a 2-year diploma in acting. And that really, I knew I wanted to do this, but that really, really, really made me not know that I could do it, but it made me realise that this is really what I wanted to do. You know, it wasn't just a hobby. You know, I like this enough to, you know, spend my life working on it. And I was fortunate enough to actually gain an agent from a few little sort of fringe shows that I'd done as part of that, in which I got my first professional job. And I managed to get a few little jobs here and there on TV shows in the Northwest and stuff. And then I auditioned for some drama schools, and I pretty much just sent out loads of applications for pretty much all the big ones, really. Spent a stupid amount of money. And I was lucky enough to get a place at Guildford School of Acting and Arts Educational, and I managed to get one of these sort of grants and schemes and dadas, I think they're called. So it was all sort of good, but I really, really, really wanted to go to Drama Centre London. Don't ask me why. I think it was because I think Russell Brand and Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan and all the really cool method actors have been there. And at that time, you just sort of want to be like your idols, don't you? And I went there, and I got to the last stage in the audition rounds. I got an interview at the end and everything, and didn't get it. And my gut told me that was really where I wanted to go. So the 2 schools that I got places in, I was very fortunate enough to do that. I just didn't think that they were right for me. So in the end, I declined the spaces, I think. Or I think I deferred one for a year, which I was able to do. I think so. And I thought, right, I'll try my best to get into Drama Centre again the next time round, which a lot of people do. A lot of people who audition for drama school, if anyone's listening to this, if you're 18 coming off the back of college, the majority of people are big places, RADA places. The minimum they sometimes let you in is 20, 21. I remember Ian McKellen said a great thing to people who wanted to act, and I think he said something like, don't do it before you're 30. You've got no life experience. Because all the emotional recall stuff, you know, I've only been able to actually understand and realise and properly use emotional recall in the past couple of years, because I hadn't been through anything powerful enough to actually make me use that technique. Do you know what I mean? So with drama school, I think a lot of it is being mature enough to use the technique that we have there. I've gone off on a tangent. Where was I? Yes. So whilst I was waiting for the next year, I managed to get an audition for Emmerdale. 5 auditions later, I managed to get the part, and I went with my gut. I did the show instead of going to drama school. And with that, I think this is the most valuable thing. I learned so much from being on camera. And I think that is where you will most of the time only learn in the industry. I don't know if it's changed, but I think a lot of drama schools still don't teach you on camera, do they? Yeah. I'm not sure. Because I know 10 years ago, there was pretty much no lessons in camera technique at all. And I think from that, being in the show for the years that I was, I managed to make contacts and become very sort of at ease on camera and know the people's jobs in the business and in the industry as well. I think that's great when you know what the boom guy's doing, when you know what the sound guy's doing, you know, when you know sort of what the makeup girls are doing and what they want from you and what the director's saying. And a lot of the business when you're starting off, it's really scary going onto a film set. Everything's so alien and people are talking in this lingo that you've never heard before. And you almost forget that you're actually there to do a creative job. It's petrifying.
It's quite interesting that because that I tend to tell every time somebody comes to do a show reel, and I don't know how it comes up, but I always end up telling the tale of when Michael Caine and who's the guy who played General Zod too, Terence Stamp, when they shared a flat in London. Terence Stamp used to always have a go at Michael Caine because he would just go up for everything and he would take every single job. And he's like, why are you doing this trash? Why are you doing Z-Cars? Why are you doing all this awful TV? Yeah. And why aren't you waiting for that one really good job where you can really sing and show your stuff? And he says, well, when you get that job, I'll have done 20 things on set and it will be like second nature to me, whereas you will be nervous about being on set.
Your character as Finn, whose idea were the glasses?
Oh, do you know what? I'm really not sure. You're going a long way back. I think maybe my dad was a bit of a sort of an alpha male farmer. I had two sort of bad boy brothers, and I think we thought, well, let's just make him a little bit nerdy, stick a pair of glasses on him. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Can I tell you one thing? And this is genuinely true. I love to wear those glasses because, you know, sometimes it might be a pair of shoes, it might be a scarf, it might be a ring, it might be a watch. Those glasses were the trigger for me playing that character. Not that I couldn't have done it if I wouldn't have worn them, but I almost quite literally hid behind them, and I wasn't me when I wore them. So honestly, if at any point they would have said, look, Joe, we're going to actually maybe think about revamping Finn and making him a little bit more, you know, taking the glasses off, I would have actually said politely, you know, actually, could you keep them on? I loved wearing those glasses because it really did separate me from him.
6 things you probably didn't know about Joe Gill. Right. But the funny thing about it is, the first, because it's the gay UK. It's like, is Joe Gill gay? Yeah. Well, how old is Joe Gill? Yeah. Where was he born? And it tells you the information is there. What is and then number.
So I've not answered these. These have been searched.
Oh, there must have been. But listen. Bearing in mind, it's 6 things you probably didn't know about Joe Gill. Right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The 4th question is, what is Joe Gill's net worth? So, how much money has he got? All right. And it says
definitely less now, Lee.
Exactly. Yeah. It says there is no current information about how much Joe Gill is worth.
Blinking heck.
And
there still isn't.
Loved it. I absolutely love that. 6 things you didn't know about Joe Gill. One of them we don't know either.
Do you know, I didn't get asked to do many interviews. Quite liked. I don't think I was an interview favourite. I don't know. They have some people that they like interviewing all the time. I think I declined a few as well. Not just politely, because you don't really have to do the ones that aren't actually linked to the story. Like the ones that, where were you born, how much you work. Bugger off. No one cares. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think because I turned down a few, I think they just sort of thought I wasn't asked, and I wasn't. So it's fine.
So basically, the moral of the story is, if you end up on a soap or anything, if you're just really miserable, then people will just leave it alone.
Lee, you'd be fine.
Well, would be fine. So just before we move on, Jenny sent a question in, and I said I would ask you. So Jenny came to see us in full Monty a couple of times, and she said what she put is, she said, okay, I was wondering if you have time, could you ask Joe what he did to cope physically and mentally while playing Lomper 8 times a week?
Wow. Well, first of all, Jenny, I didn't cope. I'm joking. Wow, physically. Well, Lee, you're kind of in the same boat. I think we were. The start of the tour was almost more tiring than the end of the tour. I think once we sort of almost got into a routine for it, Lee, it kind of became second nature for us. Physically, God, what can you say? Because I try to look after myself as much as I can on stage. But I mean, tour life as well, doesn't it? We had some fun nights as well. So I can't
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. It was all hard work. My wife listens to this. It was very, very hard work.
No, we did. We worked very hard. I think a lot of it, when you're on tour, Jenny, in answer to your question, a lot of it is done in the rehearsal room, and we rehearsed very, very hard. We had some good guys looking after us. We had a good production team, and yeah, by the time of the first show went out, we kind of all knew our positions and what to do. I think the good thing is about being on the tour, there's two things really. It can go either way. You can either do something so many times that you get really, really bored of it, and that's not being disrespectful to the piece, but it just becomes almost, second nature. But the thing to do then is go, right, well, that's what I did yesterday. I'm not going to change the piece, but I might play it a little bit like that. I might do that. I might see how that affects me. I might do that instead of that. And that's completely up to you as an actor. And I think I coped during the tour by very slightly changing things a few times, not to anyone else's disadvantage, but just to sort of keep me sort of fluid as an actor, so to speak. So, yeah, and I learned a lot then as well, because I don't think there was anything that kind of didn't happen to me on stage that couldn't happen on stage. I think some things went completely wrong. Some things didn't appear. Some things just completely live theatre. And I think the beauty of being and doing, I think we did it about 259 times, Lee, on my count.
Something like that, yeah.
So talk about being on 5 years in a show. The screen sort of experience, doing a national tour. Yeah, I certainly learned a lot of the do's and don'ts of live theatre on that tour, definitely.
I think one of the things, and I don't know whether Jenny, but just to pick up on that slightly, which I found fascinating and amazing to watch. And although I wasn't on stage, so I never really saw it that often, but when I did, it was amazing. That when you hung yourself I know you got your kit off every night, which is daunting in itself, but you hung yourself on stage every single night.
Yeah, I mean, the two weird way myself. One of the things that I couldn't do, I've always wanted to sort of do a little bit of stuff. That was that. And yeah, it was. But when I read the script, because the rope was never actually attached to my neck, obviously, in a weird way, it was all attached to my back, and a lot of it was sort of the physical acting of making the audience believe that it was obviously the strain was on your neck. But I remember the first time I did it, it took me a good couple of minutes to actually even step off. It's weird. You've just, with those situations, there's no other. You just have to completely trust the crew and know that if you do fall, you're getting a massive payout.
Oh, brilliant.
I remember sort of being nervous every single night before that stunt. Not like a nervous, like it might go wrong, but I don't think I ever sort of took it for granted what I was doing. And that was pretty much my first scene. And pretty much every other character, bar a couple of them who were in the changing rooms anyway, would sort of your track had started, Lee, right at the start. Do you know what I mean? So I got a lot of time to myself in the first 20 minutes, just there in the costume, just getting and I always liked to get dressed into my costume as soon as I could. I didn't sort of like going, right, I'm on in 5 minutes. Like, I always quite liked to get everything sorted, get everything on, get my hat on, get the correct safety gear on. So then I had sort of,
thanks, Joe. Lucy, one of my favourite things to watch when I'm not watching monologues is the Chronicles of Anna.
Somebody added me, when this all started, I had 2 jobs pretty much just cut me off in the space of 24 hours. I was like, oh, I'm not teaching this weekend. Oh, so I don't need to come into that temp job tomorrow. I don't even get a week's notice. Great. What do I do with myself? So I kept getting added to all these groups on Facebook, and there was one called Corona Heroes. Right. Well, I've got an Anna dress. I can dress up in that if people want videos, thinking that absolutely nobody would take me up on it because somebody out there is already doing that, getting paid to do that. So I was like, oh, nobody's going to like it. I literally got an influx of messages going, "That's amazing! Yeah, can you do me a video? Can you do me a video?" So I was like, "Right, okay, I'll crack that dress on tomorrow, put the wig on, and let's go." It obviously drove me a little bit nuts to start with. So I was just wandering around the house dressed as Anna, going, "Is this everybody else's first day of isolation?" Just walking around in a Disney princess dress, and I was like, my sister used to do parties, and I used to get paid to do it, and I stopped doing it because I was like, no. Even when I was getting paid to do it, I was like, no, I can't do that anymore. But here I am, one day, unemployed, offering to do it for free all day. It's like rolled on from there, and people were saying, "No, you should do story time," and I was like, I should, but no. But then the next day, I was like, yeah, I'll do story time, and it just kind of went a bit mad.
So Anna, so far, Anna Chronicles, we've got, because I haven't watched them all, I'll admit, because the 44-year-old man with no young kids watching Anna Chronicles could be, it could be frowned upon. But so far you've been to McDonald's drive-thru.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done what I could only describe as an attempt at yoga.
Yeah. That's a good word, attempt.
Was there something to do with some eggs? Or chickens or something?
Oh, the geese. They're not even geese as well. They're totally swans. But I'm just going with what's in my local area, what I can get hold of right now. So, yeah.
Right,
my morning, obviously, the geese, every morning, they're giving me great material. So I'm like, thanks for that. Thanks for that, swans.
Okay. So what else has Anna been up to?
I mean, obviously, there were a couple of times that she enjoyed eating pizza and stuff like that.
She did some washing as well at some point, didn't she?
Yeah, she might have done washing. Yeah, she may have done that. She had a bit of a breakdown one of the days, and that genuinely was me. Like, I was like, I can't wear that wig anymore. I had a headache for 24 hours, just laid in bed, but then realised, oh my God, somebody else is going to steal my Anna time if I don't get that wig on and do story time live. So my mum was like, what are you doing? You look like absolute... I was like, yeah, I know, but I need to put my face on and get that wig on and go upstairs and do Anna's story time. She thought I was nuts, and I totally wasn't. So then I'm reading this book, realising I'd never read this book before, but it was totally like meltdown Anna reading a book to children, realising these children are not going to understand what's going on right now. But it entertained myself for about 15 minutes.
Can I just ask, is this genuinely aimed at children?
It's becoming more aimed at children now. Obviously, the videos that I was doing for them were like private messages, like I'd sing a little song and say happy birthday, because there was a lot of kids that obviously the parties had been cancelled. They totally didn't understand why they couldn't have the party and why they couldn't see the friends, and so I was just sending a little birthday message. I even got messages from my friends with kids saying, I've just watched you eat pizza 50 times. Now she wants you to eat something else. Can you send a... And I was like, is that a joke? She's when they've messaged me again saying, because I think I was eating something else, that prawns, that was it. It wasn't eggs, it was prawns. So I was eating prawns then one day, and I got a message again from somebody with a video of her saying, what was she eating last time? Was it pizza? And she went, no, cold pizza. So it's not just pizza, it's cold pizza, because obviously I've said it, cold pizza, that it's...
So how does it feel that you are influencing young children who...
it's very scary.
So just thinking about your vast career as a jobbing actor like myself, did you ever envisage that you would be eating cold pizza as Anna from Frozen? And how did you get the wig?
Well, I told you, I used to do parties.
So you've still got the stuff.
Yeah, so I was like, I've got this outfit lying around. I might as well put it to good use.
But you kept the outfit, so presumably that means you didn't throw it away.
No, so they don't belong to me. They belong to my sister because it was her company. So, yeah. So,
okay.
And I've lent them out to people a few times that have wanted an Anna or Elsa. Don't ask me to do Elsa. So it's terrible. I look like David Bowie reincarnated. Nobody's ready for that yet. So. Oh no, he's terrible. So that's why obviously I'm like, it's Anna. And I've just been sending the costume out. They're like, can you be Anna for me? Swear it yourself. In a strange way, it's getting me up in the morning. It's giving me some form of purpose because otherwise I don't know what I do because I'm planning. I'm going to do a walk around my estate on Wednesday because that's a great idea. So I've made flyers to post in all the letterboxes to wave in windows for free. Honestly, one guy messaged me saying, "Can you do it on the 5th of April? It's my daughter's birthday. I'll pay you." I was like, people are paying for anything, and I'm like, I don't want money. If you want to donate, that's fine, donate. But I'm sure he was ready to pay a lot of money just for me to wave at his daughter at the window.
Does he
I
want
was
you
going
to
to
wave
say,
at his daughter?
Yes.
Is he sorry?
Yes. Come on now.
Because I just heard Mike say very low on the microphone. He went, "Can you be Elsa?"
That's because people are complaining that they can't hear the microphones. I'm trying to talk into it.
Okay. Well, I think it's great, and the Anna Chronicles have to continue. I absolutely love it, and I also love the fact that you are raising money for the Actors Benevolent Fund. And what was the other one?
Acting for others.
Now,
and people were saying about paying for it, and I was like, do I accept the money? Because obviously it's being self-employed, we weren't getting anything. But I said I feel bad getting all of it, so that's why I was like, if it can go to other people as well, and I feel like people are donating for that as well.
Great.
Cool.
Can you give us a song for our isolation playlist?
Sorry to be that typical 26-year-old Manchester guy that likes Oasis, but my favourite song is Whatever by Oasis. So it's not one of the ones that people would think of. It's called Whatever. The second one, I'll give you another one.
Whoa. You don't get two.
Oh, can I? Because this song's really struck a chord with me, Reece. I've literally just picked up the guitar this week.
Hey.
Blackbird by the Beatles. What's that? A ukulele?
That's my guitar, you cheeky.
Only though it's full size.
But Whatever by Oasis, Blackbird by the Beatles.
Okay, right, fine. Go on then, you can have two. Lucy?
The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, come on. You see, my will be downstairs going, oh, Fleetwood Mac, oh.
Give him a few years.
And also, just because I am mourning because Formula One isn't on at the moment. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, Mike, you haven't put one on yet. What's your isolation playlist?
So I've got two.
No, you've got one. Oh, go on, you can have two.
Now.
Okay, yeah, Lucy, you get one.
Sorry.
So there's one song I've been listening to quite a lot lately, and it's Paloma Faith's new one called Mistakes, just because it's a belter.
Okay.
Second one you might not know. They're a band who I love. I've loved this band since they were like tiny and just really indie. A band called Enter Shikari. Their third album, I think, called Flash Flood of Colour, and it's called Constellations, and it's just a really lovely song. And if you listen to that and then go and listen to their back catalogue, I'm sorry, because that song really does represent the vast array of what they do, because they're pretty heavy in places and very political. So if you're not really into really heavy music, listen to that one song.
Brilliant. Well, they will be added to the playlist. Lucy, you've got another one then, because everybody else seems to have had two. I've only put one on. It was my bloody idea, and I've only got one on. But Lucy, come on.
Tilted by Christine and the Queens.
How many units of alcohol have you had in the last 4 days?
No comment.
Okay.
Relatively sort of like, this is the week, this is the weekend. It's just on the weekend I overdo it.
Yeah.
So you've asked me if you would have asked me the past 4 days on Friday, it would have been fine. You've asked me the past 4 days on Monday, I can't remember my own name. But no, man, I'm all right. We're good. I am living with my brother, so there's a little bit of sort of having a good time, and having a bit of a beer with him. But you can't be doing that all the time, can you? Because that is a slippery slope.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Lucy?
Not many actually. I'm not a big drinker. Probably a few. It's not worth it. Several.
Yeah. Mr. Joe Gill, how many toilet rolls do you have in the house at the moment?
I now have. I did. Yeah, I was buzzing with myself. I was just there like, silly people. There I am with me 20 toilet rolls just there, dangling them out my window. No joking. I don't know, mate. I've got a few. I'll be all right.
Good. Lucy, how many toilet rolls have you got in the house?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm all right enough.
There are more around now. They are more. They're making a bit of a comeback, which is necessary.
Yeah.
Comeback.
Like Oasis.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yet to be seen, hasn't it?
Last question for you both. Before we have a brief chat about football. Lucy, what is the most coronavirus thing you've done?
Okay, so it was the first coronavirus thing that I'd done was spraying down all the metal handles with Zaflora like every 20 minutes. But now I went to Tesco Express the other day. Don't go to a Tesco Express. So they've got the lines for you to stand far away from each other, but obviously the aisles are really small. So somebody wanted to get by me and I went, no, you can't do that. But then somebody was at the other side. So I had two people and I went, well, somebody's going to have to move because you're not crossing by me. She went, there's loads of room. There's not enough room. So I made one guy go all the way down the aisle to come back round so that I could get out and he could get to the top.
I got a test for this. I went to a Tesco Express near me, and all I wanted to do was get to the chiller cabinets on the other side. But there were three dudes looking at the cabinets, and I kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. And in the end, I was just stood looking at the guy going, will you move? How was it going to take you to pick out a bloody thing of hummus? Get on.
Nightmare.
Excellent. Okay, good. Joe?
Yeah, there's an alleyway around the corner from mine. It's a very thin alleyway.
I bet there is.
Yeah. And I was walking down the alleyway and I hear the pitter-patter of some tiny little jogger's feet behind me, and I think, right, there's two options here because I'm only halfway down it. I went, he's got to be 2 meters away from me. So I can either run at his pace and keep 2 meters away from him, or I can ask him to stop running because it's literally like if he's going to go past me, he's going to touch me. Do you know what I mean? And then all hell's going to break loose. So I just turned around and politely asked him to stop, but it was so awkward because he was jogging. I turned around and went, "I'm really sorry, mate. Could you stop jogging, please?" Just till I walk. Turned around. And it was the longest walk of my life. This walk, which should have lasted 15 seconds, lasted for an hour and 45 minutes. And it was just so awkward, those few seconds of walking and then him just disappearing into the distance and giving me the most dirtiest look. But to be fair, we have been actually told by the public to obviously politely say, come on, let's apply by the rules. And that's all I was trying to do. But yeah, you do. The world has gone mad.
Lucy, what makes you happy?
Music, definitely.
Music, okay.
Love it.
All types of music?
Yeah, pretty much. As long as it's good, and I enjoy other stuff more with music. So, watching somebody dance is great, but watching somebody dance to music is awesome. Or people making music, singing, love it. Yeah.
Excellent. Mr. Joe Gill, what makes you happy?
Football. Sadly.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. I like a good laugh. I like a good chortle. My family make me happy. I think in times like this, I've become sort of very aware of just how important family is, and probably actually connected with some of my family members, maybe a little bit more than what I might have done if I wasn't going through this.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, so maybe I won't take that for granted as much in the future. In fact, I know I won't. So yeah, I'd probably say that my family. Sorry to bring it on a proper deep level.
Oh, that's just
so deep.
If you really, really want my honest answer, Haribo Star Mix, mate. Got loads of me covered.
I think we're just connecting with people. It's strangely a little bit more. I mean, I'm You know what I'm like. I hate people generally. I'm just not. I'm not very good with people.
Lee, would you have FaceTimed me for nearly 2 hours if we weren't doing this? Would you?
Probably not.
Can't stand me.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Actually, this is why we've only prepared 7 episodes, because I'm starting to run out of people I actually like. No, that's not true. That's not true either.
Yeah. Good luck to who's on episode 8.
Look, guys, thank you so much for coming. You've made at least a 44-year-old man very happy for an hour and 20 minutes. It's beautiful to speak to you both. I miss you. I genuinely miss you both very, very much. I just want to say hello to a few people. Jenny, I said hello to already. Hi, Jenny. Hope you're still with us. I asked the question to Joe.
Hi, Jenny.
Sarah Mulligan, she raced home this evening to come and see us. And
I saw a tweet. Thank you, Sarah. Hello. Hope you're okay and you're safe and your family are well and all that. Thank you for listening. Cheers.
Stevie Donald joined us.
Steve.
Steve,
I am loving that guy's songs. What a talented man he is. He's just when I think he can get more talented, he does it. He's brilliant.
Abby Crawford has been with us as well, and Rhiannon, who Mike and I know well from doing showreels and things. She's had a baby recently. She's on maternity, and she was watching us while she was breastfeeding. Thank you so much. Those people that are still watching, I should have said this earlier, Mike, you didn't remind me, but those people that are still watching, if you could subscribe, that helps us out. Just subscribe, please.
Yeah, subscribe, like, hit the bell notification, all that YouTube jazz, you know that.
So your sort of a favourite moment of the industry, a favourite thing that has happened to you, whether it be on set or whether it be, something that sticks out, pinch yourself a little bit, or you just kind of went, oh, this is real. I'm now acting. I'm doing it.
They were so funny and so on it and so fresh every night that I would literally be in hysterics on stage the whole time. There was this one night that they came out with joke after joke after joke, and I must have been stood there, and on the tannoy, everyone downstairs was just hearing me laugh for 12 to 13 minutes. Just me hysterical laughing. And I was like, this is fun. And I just enjoyed it. Loved it.
Were you were playing the princess, presumably?
Yes.
Because there is obviously a thing that you just try and make the princess laugh. I mean, that because they're the easiest target, basically.
I was a massive easy target that time, and it would every night was the end of the show. And so when it came to the end of the show, so it was Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and obviously I had stuff that broke that scene that I went and did the bed and the chair, and I had Marmite on the spoon. I had it literally was the most hilarious thing ever, and I loved every minute. I had somebody underneath the bed while I was asleep on the bed, just doing this for a long time, prodding me, and literally underneath the bed on the stage, and I was doing hardest not to laugh, trying to be asleep. But yeah, so that was good fun.
Love it, Joe.
Was you what a pinch me moment or what?
Maybe.
Where I was.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll always remember one of my most favourite weeks when I was filming was obviously. When you do a soap, you pretty much normally film in the studios where you are and in the village because the show is where it's set. But we did a few days on location down at Long Cross Studios, which is in a beautiful location, which I think is just outside of Windsor. And it's absolutely beautiful. And a couple of years ago, we did a massive stunt car crash sequence. Which I think was at the time the longest car crash sequence ever to be on British TV. I don't know if it actually was, but that's what people.
Was that the one with the bride on the bridge?
Yeah, well that was me mum and dad.
Yeah.
That was where Bill Ward, the guy who played me dad, that they were his sort of exit scenes, his exit storyline, and we were in this beautiful exterior sort of. Filming location at these sort of exterior studios, and I think Liam Neeson was filming commuter next door to where we were. But then this was where it was. We weren't supposed to, but I think a few of us went on a little bit of a walk at lunch. And this is the type of place where you could literally just stumble onto any form of set. And we went down into this crater, and there was this massive spaceshipy looking thing underneath this massive, massive cloth. And a few guys came up and told us to bugger off, and it was a Millennium Falcon.
No, it wasn't.
And
You
could just see the sort of shape of it, sort of underneath this massive. But that's where, because I think the location, they weren't filming anything, but obviously that's where it had been stored. But when I saw it, I thought, F me, that's the Millennium Falcon. And I think that's where I sort of got a bit of a pinch me moment, like, that can't be real. That's not that. But it was. So I think that's my sort of pinch me moment.
Oh, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lee. Lovely to see you guys. Thank you.
Mike, let's sign off. We'll see everybody on Wednesday. Natasha Harrison, really looking forward to it, and Tom Larkin. And, of course, I will see you as well, Michael.
Yeah, so thanks very much. Cheers, Joe. Cheers, Lucy. Join us Wednesday, 8 o'clock, live on YouTube. I'd give you the URL, but we need 100 subscribers to be able to get that. So get us some subscriptions. Just search Totally Showreels until that point.